Manchester United 4, Bournemouth 4. Guys, there's no point in even lollygagging. Let's just, I don't even know if I want to give a match review. I just want to tell you guys a couple things that I think are so glaringly obvious with this team. Um, if you want any chance at beating Manchester United, or at least taking a point from them, you do these two things. You mark Bruno Fernandes, and you take advantage of the overloads you're given. So let's just jump straight into what those mean. For the first 15, 20 minutes of the night, United were playing decent enough football. And what that really meant was you have Bruno Fernandes, who's kind of playing as a quarterback. Now, early on to the match, Tyler Adams, Bournemouth's number 8, more of a number 6 in my opinion, goes down with an injury. They then bring on Alex Scott, who in my opinion is much more of a number 8, even possibly 8.5, moving into that number 10 position, but at least a number 8. Two completely different molds for what this role is, and kind of what that was for Bournemouth. What that made Bournemouth do is it made them drop back super far deep, and there was a lot of miscommunication. It felt like between the back line and Bournemouth midfield, and so that gave Bruno Fernandes ample space and time to create whatever he wanted to. And I love Bruno. I will never say a bad word about him. He did a fantastic job of creating a number of these kind of half chances, getting the ball in the Ahmad, getting him over to Cunha or to Mbuemo. And even for the first United goal, I know it was all Diogo Dalot who put in the cross, but I think just the first 10 or 15 minutes effect of Bruno being on the ball, it pushed Bournemouth so far back that you allowed Casemiro to play that ball on to Dalot, who crossed it in, took that weird deflection off of Petrovic. Ahmad's wide open. It's 1-0 United. So from that point on, or up to that point, United were doing a really good job of snapping on to tackles. And what I mean by that was their one-on-one pressing from both Lenny Yoro on the right and Luke Shaw on the left. It was borderline perfect. There were 2 or 3 times a Bournemouth player would get over that halfway line and Shaw would be right there to win it back. Same thing for Euro. Really, really good defense in open spaces. And that was all kind of based around the energy that Bruno Fernandes was giving them, giving the team, allowing them to play on the ball, forcing Bournemouth to have to counter. And if you are snapping onto tackles to prevent these counterattacks before they really get going, that's a really good recipe for success. All right, that's all. That is the end of the good for this video. Because after that, Andoni Iraola, Bournemouth manager, had this sudden revelation. What if we just marked Bruno Fernandes? Let's see what happens then. They shift up their midfield a little bit. They try and box in or triangle in Bruno, and the tempo of the game, the momentum of the game flips so quickly, it's actually almost unfathomable. From that point on, from the second United get that goal and Iraola makes that change, the way Bournemouth was able to create chances, it was at ease. And just minutes later, Luke Shaw and Mason Mount have that miscommunication towards the byline. The ball gets lost. It gets passed straight on to Antoine Semenyo. And he's running, 1-on-2, 2-on-2 with, I think, Evan Nielsen over to the left of him to create an easy one-on-one chance of Sonny Lamans. So let's talk about this second part here. Overloads against United. With this 3 at the back system, don't worry, I'll get back onto the attack as the match goes on. But with the overloads of this system, it's just so easy to score. Because, guys, Luke Shaw and Mason Mount will have 100 giveaways a game, 100 miscommunications. It happens. Good teams do it, great teams do it, bad teams do it. You lose the ball. You eventually lose the ball. I have no problem in the fact that Mount and Shaw got into a little bit of an uncomfortable situation and the ball was played to Antoine Semenyo. It's unfortunate, but it happens. Where's your failsafe? Where's your plan B? Why is it now Aiden Heaven's job to leave Evan Nielsen or whoever is making that run behind him and then sprint on to Semenyo? By the way, Semenyo will draw a penalty or possibly even a red card if Heaven makes an attempt on him. So if Heaven pushes out What is he supposed to do? Cover the channel of a pass and give up the one-on-one between Semenyo and Lemons? Is Semenyo supposed to just slide into Semenyo? Is Heaven, excuse me, supposed to slide into Semenyo and give up a penalty? Either way, he loses. It would have to be a 10 out of 10 tackle for United to not concede a goal right there. So I don't blame Aiden Heaven in that situation, just like I don't really blame Mount and Shaw in that situation. So the first half wears on. Right before halftime, United get a set piece, and it's a really good screen by Euro to allow Casemiro to come in behind, get a really good header on. It's 2-1 United. Great, right? Guys, this is where the yelling can very easily amp up here. So we mentioned you take away Bruno Fernandes, the energy of the team goes. It's not just the energy, guys. It's not just the miscommunication stock up. It's the lack of an attack. And what I mean by that is, from the second Fernandes starts getting marshaled, you rely on long balls. It's been United's kind of plan B, if you want to call it that, this season. Just heaving the ball down the pitch and seeing what happens. Relying on the individualism. 20, 30 seconds into the second half, United get on the ball. They throw a long ball into the midfield because we can't build up worth anything. Nonetheless, twice. United throw a long ball into the middle. It gets intercepted. 2 passes later, and Evan Nilsson, 3-on-3 counterattack. It's a goal. The game is tied 2-2. Comical defending, guys. We don't play without a midfield. And the way our back three is supposed to set up or whatever, it just makes no sense, guys. It makes no sense. So, Bournemouth get this goal to make it 2-2 because we have to pump a long ball into the middle. 5 minutes later, at max, Bournemouth get on the counter. Another 3-on-3 counter, I believe. Casemiro has to make a foul to stop what probably would at least end up in a shot on target. Gives away a free kick. Tavernier bangs it. 3-2 Bournemouth, just like that, guys. It's so easy to work through this Manchester United defense because the midfield doesn't exist. Yes, our forward players track back. I don't expect Cunha to track back and to win the ball 40 times a game, guys. That's really unreliable from any player on earth. That's not a knock on Cunha. No one's tracking back. An attacker is not defending at the rate that is needed for this team to succeed in this system. No attacker can. And you already play without midfield because Casemiro doesn't have the legs. Bruno Fernandes doesn't, for one, have the defensive ability, or for two, is already getting boxed in, and you're only playing 3 center backs. So, of course, you're going to give up chances. Of course, it's so easy to give up these overloads, just like it was in the first goal, just like it was in the second goal. You got overloaded on the third goal and had to give up a foul. 3, maybe even 4 Bournemouth goals. 3 of them were so easily preventable if you just stirred up your defense a little bit, just a little bit. But I'll move back onto the attack because from that point on, Bournemouth knew all they had to do was just park the bus and they would likely win the game. And they did. For the majority of that second half, Bournemouth parked the bus. If it wasn't for a very controversial free kick to be given, Bruno Fernandes to bang a very nice free kick, Bournemouth would have won that game. But, of course, Fernandes saves the team once again, makes it 3-3, and this belief starts flowing through Old Trafford, and everyone thinks, we can go on and get a winner. 2 minutes later, Benjamin Sesko floats a ball into the box. The Bournemouth defender makes a meal out of it. It falls to Mateus Cunha. 4-3 Man United. Life is good. No, it's not. Because 3... Excuse me. This team is making me sick. 3 minutes later, Kruiper Jr., De Kruiper, whatever his name is, slices in between our defenders and makes it 4-4. Guys, let's focus on the attack for the rest of this video. You might be saying to yourself, we created 4 goals today. Connor, what more could you want from this team? Oh, I don't know. I wish that Mateus Cunha and Amad Diallo and Brian Mbuemo and whoever else is up there didn't play like they were a headless chicken. And that is not at all a knock to any of those players. I love them all. I think they're all very talented players. What it's a knock to is the system. You take Bruno Fernandes out of that system, you take the quarterback away from the wide receivers. You, that's the best thing. That's the best analogy I can say. You take the quarterback away from the wide receivers. Because guys, even in those first 15 or 20 minutes, every United player is making the same run. They were all heading head down, running straight forward. You take Fernandes out of that, the creativity that was already low in the first place is depleted even more. And a lot of people have been saying, "Oh well, Connor, gosh man, Mateus Cunha, he's been failing this season. He hasn't lived up to $1 worth of the 84 million we spent on him." Guys, go back and watch what Mateus Cunha is forced to do when Bruno Fernandes is taken out of the game. The guy is asked to weave in between 11 Brentford defenders, 11 West Ham defenders, 11 today Bournemouth defenders, every single match. It actually should be considered a minor miracle in the amount of chances and goal contributions he has this season. I liked Amad. This is not a knock at all. But notice how many shots that Amad Diallo takes that get deflected. Sometimes they go in, other times they go out for a corner. So many of his shots are deflected. You want to know why? Because every Amad move starts with him on the ball on the right side and having to juke out 3 different players just for him to get a deflected shot off. He's put in an impossible situation. In Mbuemo, a little bit to a lesser extent, but pretty much the same premise. Our number 9, I don't even know who's playing number 9 today. Was it Cunha? I guess. It's just, it doesn't matter who you filled out there, guys. If it's so reliant on Bruno Fernandes and you don't even allow Fernandes to play in his best position, your attack is completely stale. You combine that with a defense that takes 2 passes to get in between. This is how the season is going to go unless a change is made. And I don't even mean, I don't even mean you have to fire Amorim. I like Amorim, in all honesty, I do. Just please, man, change your system. Stop relying on this time after time after time. And that's why, we've win 1, we win 2, we lose 2, we tie 1, we win 1, we lose 2, we win 2. It's the same stuff, guys. We pretty much go 500 over the course of 10 games. Look it up. We seriously go 500 over the course of 10 games. Look at his career stats at Man United. I think it's around like 23 wins, 23 losses. Something around those numbers. Unacceptable in the style of play. It's just like the ceiling is so low when you're playing this way. Like it just is. And I don't want anybody who's watched this whole entire video to think that I'm attacking any Man United player. I don't blame Mount or Shaw for that mix-up. I don't blame Amad for not creating another chance. I don't blame Sonny Lamans, really. I blame the system. They're put into the most unfortunate and just mind-boggling way of football. I have to stop talking now, guys. But Manchester United play Aston Villa Sunday. I forgot. Sometime in the morning. I'll make a video after it, guys. I promise. I'll talk to y'all soon. God bless.